Well, guys, I'm back. I know. I've been missing in action, but I'm back now. I have risen from the dead. Guys, I'm your gracious host, Drummer 1980, hailing from Columbia, South Carolina. I hope you're having a good day today. And if that's not the case, ask yourself why. Because after all, happiness is an inside job. Did you catch it? I said happiness is an inside job. And it will always be an eternal affair. Well, guys, I'm back. I know. Sometimes, guys, life be life, as they say. But I'm back now. Nevertheless, I'm back with my man TBA. You know who the Black Authority is. Jason Black out of Shreveport, Louisiana. Huh? You know who he is.
All right, let me go back to caller from area code 214. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, this is Lo from Dallas, Texas.
Okay, what's the name again?
Lo.
Hello, Lo from Dallas. What's on your mind? Lo.
Okay, so
now,
I wanted to...
Is this Lo who's called me before?
Yes, I've called you several times.
Okay, I'm about to say, it's been a while since we heard from you there. I thought she got married down there. So
I know.
Dude told her don't call in anymore.
I am married.
I'm about to say,
I am married.
Dude told her don't call up no more. So he's like, don't call that fella. He got married. So don't call him.
He's very strict on me, and rightfully so. I was a disciplinary problem, like you would say. But I wanted to give you some pushback tonight. I usually don't disagree with you, but from the calls, I've been a little upset because the woman that called that was 50, she is the example of what a lot of Black women have. And then the two guys following her were the men that a lot of Black women have to look up to. There's no leadership. You're saying, well, what if a woman does this, then X, Y, and Z. But my husband is a true leader. And so no matter how much of a disciplinary problem I was, I knew that I had to fall in line. And
okay, well, now wait a second. Slow down. That statement, no matter how much of a disciplinary problem I was, and actually I think the real statement is I knew I have to fall in line. Here's the problem. If he's a leader, then why would a person want to be a disciplinary problem?
Facts.
I'm not with him.
If you notice, she said that she was. That means past that she was a disciplinary problem, right? She was a disciplinary problem, right? I'm stressing that. Listen. And Jason came back and said, oh, was? I think you still are. Now, that's a key point. And it will tie into something later, all right?
He's not home. He works offshore, so that's why I'm calling tonight. And he doesn't, he listens, but I'm going to make sure that hopefully he doesn't listen to this, or I'll probably end up telling him. But at the end of the day, it was crazy to hear the woman, like I said, first say that she couldn't guide the women in her family, or she could only guide her daughters.
Hold up. If she's not doing anything wrong, why is she afraid of her husband to hear the broadcast? What sense does that make? Logically speaking, put it in the comment section. So in other words, she feel like she doing something wrong there, right? And she's saying, well, I hope that he don't listen. I'm going to just make sure that he don't listen at this. Why? What sense does that make, guys? Riddle me that, guys.
A lot of Black women speak that way. And they say, oh, well, I can only help what's around me. But they don't even help the women that are around them. They tell us to go get education, to go get this, to go to get that, and not to worry about a man. And then on the opposite end, you have these men saying, oh, well, Black women is this and Black women is that. But they're not even leaders, and they're not making money to be able to guide a Black woman anywhere besides into poverty.
Okay. Well, let's address the point you just made there. I think what you just said is a very valid thing, and I'm not arguing against the mathematics of what you just said. Question, who's raising 80% of the Black boys today into manhood, by the way, and teaching them to be men today?
A Black woman.
Yikes. I think you were just explaining to us about the deficiencies of the men.
Right, because if you're a father and you have a child, no matter how ratchet your baby mother is, do you leave your child?
Yes.
Or do you just leave the mother?
Ma'am, here's the problem. The problem is you've been listening to me as long as you have, you already know the answer to that. The females today as a group. Now, here's where the real issue comes. The females today as a group, and this crosses socioeconomic lines. Females today who are raised in 2-parent homes are leaving out of home and going and laying up with a dude who's already got 4 and 5 kids by 4 and 5 other different females. Remember, most of the males today don't have children.
Facts.
But I agree. But you can't say that about the females. So you're pointing the finger at the men when you know the math very clearly points to the fact that the females are out of control and are engaging in rampant sexual promiscuity and man sharing with a minority of the males, the easily manipulated, easily dominated, easily controlled sperm donor minority. The females choose males and target. Let's be very, very clear right now. Let's stop with the misinformation. The females of today are targeting. Their preference is to target males who are infantilized, easily manipulated, dominated, and controlled. He will not have standards for her. And then she figures, after I get pregnant, I will then flip a switch. And if I want him to start producing, he'll do that later. But let's be very, very clear. The math is very clear. 80% of the boys are being born to single mothers. And most of these females today are engaging in the same thought behavior. They're single mothers, either with children or without, through abortion. And they are single mothers because they're targeting the bottom 20% of males, non-producers who do not care how they get somebody pregnant. They're targeting them and steering around 60% of the males. But you already know, and you're trying to point the finger at the males. Why is it that
I'm not.
No. If the bottom 20% of guys out here are getting, if these females are man sharing and doubling and tripling up with Pookie and Ray Ray across the board, these are females who are police officers, secretaries, receptionists, paralegals, in some cases, lawyers and doctors. Shout out Derek Jackson. They're sitting up here doubling up with these dudes. Now, this is who they prefer. They're steering around men who are better options. They prefer a specific type of degenerate behavior. And instead of you acknowledging that and saying the math makes it very clear what 80% of the females are doing, you're instead pointing at the guys talking about, well, I mean, if they make the babies, the females are targeting males who they can get pregnant by under raggedy circumstances. So can we discuss females' preferences? Why is this the common, typical female preference is to get pregnant by any degenerate that comes along with no standards? Why is that?
He said a mouthful. God almighty. Now, this is when the numbers come into play. And most people don't want to level with the fact that most black males don't have children. They don't want to level with that because they want it to be tantamount to the black female, which is not so. It's not a 1-to-1. It's probably 3 or 4 to 1. I know a lot of black guys that don't have children, a lot. But then I know a few that got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 children by different women. Yes, that's how it go. But then whenever they get pregnant, then they want to somehow turn the guy into an upstanding citizen all of a sudden. Don't work like that. Common sense should tell you, if you baby mama number 2 or 3, that should tell you all that you need to know. 2 or 3 babies out of wedlock by different women will ruin you financially. Huh? God told mighty they don't want to hear nothing that I got to say. Or Jason or anybody that think like us. You having 2 or 3 kids out of wedlock, you should know the guy can't afford that and live a decent life unless he Nick Cannon or somebody. Or Elon Musk. A future. But you ain't dealing with nothing like that. You dealing with somebody that's smoking weed and ain't doing nothing from job to job. Huh? And then you want a group of all black men. But these black men ain't taking care of their kids. No, the one you chose ain't taking care of their kids. So your choice making is obviously bogus. Obviously in the worst way. Huh? So don't try to lump us all and categorize everybody. Oh, no. That's a you problem. That's a you problem. That's simply why you need to be under the tutelage of a real one. Because it's obvious you don't know what you're doing. You opening up your womb to anybody, literally anybody. A bum. And then after you done jumped around and done played all them years, now you trying to come to a guy like me. It would never happen. That's why whenever I was out there, you didn't catch me with no ratchets. Because first of all, they too brazen and too brash, loudmouth. I don't like that. Because that's embarrassing. Loud talking. You got to know how to conduct yourself in public. As well as home. Because you ain't loud talking me no way. Home, in private, or no way. Don't be doing all that screaming, man, because that's not going to go over well with me. I just don't like that. That's one of my pet peeves, if you will. And then you're dressing like a harlot.
The fathers, the men you talking about, fathers who are leaving, well, that's the bottom 20% of degeneracy the females have a taste for today. So can we discuss why the females have a taste for the bottom 20% of degenerates who don't want to be fathers? Why do they want to get pregnant by them? Let's have a conversation about that now.
Listen.
Okay. I don't believe that
the math
women
makes it
at
clear.
large want to.
The math makes it clear that, yes, that's true. At large, yes. The math makes it very clear.
Okay.
This is my,
so if
this
that
is
is
my
the
opinion.
case,
This is math.
and that it is that they want to, I don't think that, but all I'm saying is that I don't think that they're thinking in their head that this is a degenerate man who does not want to be a father or who does not want to be in my home. Because if that was the case, then you would see rampant black males being in the homes of all other women, but they're not. They're leaving every other home the same way that they're leaving black women.
Oh, man, that's not true. That's not true. Well, that's not true. Let's not tell lies out here.
But it is true.
You can't fabricate things like that.
That's true.
Ma'am, excuse me.
Okay, so can I ask you a question?
Excuse me. We're not going to talk over we're not going to talk over the host.
Okay.
You're not going to do that.
I'm not trying to
Excuse
talk over
me.
you.
Excuse me. You're not going to talk over the host. Now you're not going to do that. Now, you're degenerate. You can be a disciplinary problem with your husband. Don't you dare try that again. Did you understand me when I say that to you?
I did.
Okay. Check yourself for real, for real. Now, as I was saying, what you just said is absolutely untrue.
I thought she was a disciplinary problem, not currently. My point earlier.
Your 2 minutes for something that is a lie. So you can get 12 miles down the road with your lies. You're making things up because reality refutes what you wish to believe were true. These things are wrong, and you just want to believe it's true because you want to believe that there's some equivalence between what black males and black females are doing, and there isn't. The math and the facts bear this out. When men get a woman pregnant, he suffers a penalty. There are laws that will punish him. There are no laws that punish females. There are only laws that help them and subsidize them. So the dynamic with the guys and the females is totally different. Now, when you talk about, quote, other homes, let's be very, very clear here. How old are you again?
I'm 28.
You're 28, which means you don't know what the hell you're talking about. You're just talking these lies and fantasies you're making up because you wish to fabricate a reality that does not exist. We have been hearing black women complain.
Can I not have done studies?
Okay, ma'am.
Can I not have?
Okay, let me try this again for the final time. And by the way, you're demonstrating that you're the degenerate type of hood rat that you claimed is not common. Yeah, you're kind of demonstrating that's what you are right now. So you are Exhibit A. By the way, when we talk about lack of ladylike behavior, ladies and gentlemen, Lo from Dallas, I present Exhibit A. She thinks she's feminine, and this is 28. So remember when I told you all before that you say that you were a disciplinary problem, and I said the truth is, you still are. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. By the way, Exhibit A.
Because I'm not. All I was saying was based off of what you said.
I don't need you to talk.
You said the average man is struggling.
Ma'am, I don't need you to talk. I'm hosting my program, and
I'm going to be quiet.
When I'm done talking, then you can speak. This is not one of your hood rat barbecues where you all get around and cheat on your husbands and play horror things. You don't come here on my program and do that. You do not behave the way that you do.
I apologize.
When you're hanging out with your auntie and them and y'all are trying to sleep with each other's boyfriends, you don't come here with that. You really don't.
Okay, I apologize.
You should apologize. You are a sorry state of being. You should. Now, as I was saying, the statistics and the facts are against you. Simply because you're in denial of it doesn't change it. Black women have been...
Do you see? Now, she said that she was a disciplinary problem. But as we all can see, she's currently a disciplinary problem. Talking over people. And to be honest with you, and I'm going to say this in no uncertain terms, and I know it might ruffle some feathers, but that's just the way the cookie crumble, guys. You have a lot of black women that's like her. They can't sit and listen. They want to interject simply because they don't want to hear what you have to say. And this is a problem because a lot of them can't be led because they want to do the leading. That's never happened, not with me, but they want to lead you. Now, it's nothing wrong with giving your opinion to your spouse or what have you. I always hear my wife, but that necessarily doesn't mean that I'm going to say, well, okay, yeah, let's go do it that way. No. Whatever way I see fit. If I say it's two lefts and one right and one up, it's two lefts, one right and one up. Now you might say, well, it's down, right, left. No, we going this way. Then whatever consequences ensue from my decision making, I'll take care of that too. That's how I get down. Okay? Because sometimes a woman is ruled by her emotions. Emotions cloud her judgment. See, I don't get emotional. No. I'm a hardcore mathematician. I deal with numbers. I deal with reality. I deal with facts. And that's what I do. And I'm a very logical, pragmatic person. Okay? So she might come and tell me something, and it could be a good idea on the surface, but it would create an unwanted circumstance later on down the road. And she might just be looking at the now, but I'm looking at the whole situation in totality. That's how a man's supposed to think. He's supposed to consider the end before the beginning. You're supposed to look at everything. Everything should be considered before making a decision, because not only you making a decision for yourself, but for your whole house. And that's how I approach life, period.
Been complaining for decades that first of all, the marriage statistics very clearly bear out that black men are not having nearly the problem getting married that black women are. Furthermore, they're not having the problems with relationships. But third of all, black men, as I said before, marriage is a benefit to females, not to males. Not the same way. So when women cannot get children and can't get married, it's a far different dynamic than a man who's walking around single. Now, you're not talking about any black males, that bottom 20% degenerates. That's the one. Those are the only ones who are having children under those circumstances that you just referred to. It's not black men as a group. You're thinking that the same proportional dynamic that goes in place for black women is somehow applying to the men. I've explained this to you several times. Most black males today do not have children. Most black males today are single and don't have children. Now, you can't get around that. Most black females today do have children. So they are not equivalent. And you keep making up this lie that you keep trying to pass off that there's some equivalent that you're trying to tell yourself, well, this is how screwed up black women are, and this is how many of them got bastard kids. So there must be an equal proportion of the males doing it too. No, there is not. Yeah. There isn't. And I just gave you the numbers that show that cannot be true. Now, what's happened is because by your behavior is very clear, you hang out with a bunch of low-class gutter males, and in your mind, that's what everybody is like. But that's not true. And even if they had some similarities, the problem is they're not acting on it. The females are the ones getting pregnant willy-nilly by whoever under whatever circumstances. The males are not doing that. And the numbers bear this out by virtue of the fact most black males today are single and do not have children. Now, that's a numerical, statistical fact. The females are having 3 and 4 kids by the same bottom 20% of males. Now, and then there's the 10 or 15% in between. Now, that's where those numbers that you're talking about the bottom 20%. And those are the ones that the white chicks who the cast-offs, the white men don't want. They'll go off and go have a little biracial baby by one of those bum dudes. Well, yeah, that's that bottom 20%. Everybody knows that's what those fellas are good for. But they also know those fellas are not protectors and providers. But most females today believe that the society owes them a paycheck, a roof over their head, and food in their bloated bellies. So they don't look to men you've already shown how ignorant and naive you are. Females today do not look to males by and large to be protectors and providers. You sat here acting as if, they do. No, they don't. They do not look to men to be their protectors and their providers. They've already demonstrated that. That's not the case. But you just talked as if it were. Well, most of them would be, but most females today do not look for that. As evidenced by the fact, strong and independent. I don't need a man even if I have a baby. You don't hear any females in their 20s talking about, setting up Facebook groups talking about, we are 25, childless, and ready to be married. You can't find a YouTube channel where there are dozens of females with tens of thousands of followers saying, I'm 25, single, childless, and ready to be married. Now, what you will find are tons of YouTube channels with black females in their 20s with hood radish attitudes like present company and talking about hot girl summer, thought girl winter, and how they don't need a man and they're strong and independent with their baby mama bods. Now that you will find, you'll find plenty of those. But this lie that you just made up, you will not find that. Now, everyone, I'm either telling the truth about that or I'm making it up. So, Lo, can you please point all of us to where is the group of black females in their 20s, single, childless, and demanding to be married? Not talking about, well, I can get a baby and I'm cool with that because I got a job. Well, we see plenty of those. So if what you were saying is true, tell me, where can we find, show me a YouTube channel, a Facebook group, a Discord chat with black females in their 20s, childless, single, and discussing their lamenting that they want to get married. Where is it?
I did not say that you could find that. I completely agree.
Okay.
Wait a minute. If can I speak? Because.
All right.
Okay.
Because if you can't do that, then you've just refuted everything you said. When I said what you said is bull crap, and that's why you don't need to talk. Yeah, you just refuted yourself. The demographic that you claimed, that fictional demographic you claimed, doesn't actually exist. And that's why I wouldn't let you sit here and monologue and lie.
I was speaking on the men.
Ma'am, the men are not having the same issue the females are having.
They try to make some type of false equivalent. It's just not there. It's simply not there, ladies. And what Jason said about where can you find a group of women with tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of subs on YouTube or anywhere that's single, childless, and talking about wanting to get married around 25. That's non-existent. But what you can find, sprinkle, and hot girl summer, and it's my season, and all this old foolish talk. And it all leads to a dead end. The workers of iniquity. I have seen women channels and women in real life that teach other women how to seduce men. I'm talking about it in a negative way. I've seen them teach them how to go after men money and how to drain them dry. Just all type of stupid stuff. Now they teaching them how to go after nerds, the gamers and all that. That's what they doing now, guys. I've been saying that for about a year or two. They teaching them to go after the nerds because a nerd never really had a woman and they can just drain his pockets because he don't know no better. The only thing he knows is sex because he never had any sex. So they give him a little bit and drain the swamp on him. Take all this money. But like how Jason said, and I do agree, they rather lose doing it their way than to win doing it your way. And they come up with these talking points that's clearly asinine. The numbers don't bear out nothing that she's saying. And she even admitted to herself that she can't find no channels or nothing or no large groups of women that's concentrated talking about being young, single, around 25 and wanting to get married with no kids. Everybody have kids. A lot of them have kids already. I'm not being mean, but I'm just being truthful. I'm not one of those guys that just want to take care of another man's child. That woman gonna have to be something extraordinary. I'm talking about extraterrestrial, something that I never seen, something that I never experienced before. She gonna have to be on a godly level. Now they are out there, but my preference is to get a woman with no children, and that's what I did. I found a woman with no children. She had my child. And that's how I like it.
The males are not out here creating degeneracy and dysfunction, except that bottom 20%. And you're trying to subscribe, imprint that on the other 80% of males. And that's not something I'm going to let you make a lie of. I actually
am not. And I would never try to, because I have nephews. I have children that are around me that I would never want to be in that position. I don't want to see black men do anything but win. But is it not a fallacy to sit here and act like they are winning when they're not?
Okay, define.
It's not a fallacy to say because you're not.
Define winning.
Create,
define
even
winning.
If it's the bottom.
Okay, define winning. You said it's a fallacy to say they're winning when they're not. Define winning.
There are less than 3% of black men in the the six-figure club. So how can we sit around and blame 80% of the women for going towards the top when there's 3% of them and there's
ma'am? Okay. First of all,
you won't let me.
First of all, where did you get? You're sitting up here. You're telling, ma'am, where did you get that? Where did you get that from? Where did you get that from?
Very respectful to your channel, and I appreciate.
Ma'am, it's called hosting my program.
The disservice to sit here and act as though black.
Okay. What we're not going to have are hood rats sitting up here monologuing. Now, understand something. That's the type of stubbornness that makes her a disciplinary problem. When her husband says she's a disciplinary problem, that's it right there. Just understand that. She's literally sitting up here making up numbers because she wants to say that there's some equivalent between what's happening with black males and black females. And so the facts don't bear her out. There's no truth to the facts. So she's just going to make things up. Now, you know you're in a bad situation when you have to make things up. If you're going to throw a number out there, you gotta tell us where your number came from if you're going to refute the facts. You're going to have to say that. You're going to have to say that. So just understand, because the facts and the numbers are against her, she's resorting to lying. And usually what happens is folks will let you sit there and lie. You'll make up a number. Well, most black men got who making all these babies? The bottom 20%. Most black men got children. Actually, most black men do not. Well, most black men, they getting other women pregnant. Actually, no, that's not either. Because most black males do not have children. Therefore, they're not getting anybody pregnant. That's the definition of don't have children. In her mind, you can be a person who's never gotten anybody pregnant and simultaneously be counted amongst having children. This is a person who wants to believe that that everybody is making the same mistake. That's what she wants to believe. And that was why I sat there and said from the beginning, no, you are a disciplinary problem. I said it from the very beginning.
As you can see, guys, how that conversation went. Whenever women don't want to be held accountable, they'll go to the metaverse or something. People just don't want to come to terms with certain things. It's okay to say I was wrong. That shows integrity and maturity. Whenever you can come and say, you know what, well, I thought a certain way, but now that I'm older and wiser, or either that I learned the error of my ways, well, now I can see that I was clearly missing the mark. I was off. And nobody won't think less of you. Matter of fact, that's honorable. Because what? The truth will make you free, right? Okay. I'm trying to give you some of this freedom here. That's all I'm saying. And that's what manhood is about. If I wrong my brother with something like that, I can go to him and say, look here, bro, I was wrong, man. I do apologize for that. That's my bad. That's what manhood is. But guys, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Come on back to see me. I'm 18,000 and counting, guys. I'm trying to get to 20. Help me to get to 20. Hit the like button, hit the share button, and donate if you will. And until next time, peace. And remember, there is more.